And 10 at the 24-yard line. Miraz throws underneath, complete at the 20-yard line, and it goes to the 10 for a first down to Ashley Wright, where it'll be first and goal at the 10-yard line.
Well, that time they got McCarron's in a trail position. I don't know if McCarron slipped or what, but Wright running the delay pattern. You see him again. Unless he got picked. No. McCarron's, I don't know if he thought it was zone coverage or man-to-man coverage. He just guessed, and he guessed incorrectly. Let his man free underneath. And Miraz caught him again.
First and goal at the 10. They try to throw to the back out of the backfield, and that is incomplete. You know, Jordan Spence should have went after that ball a little bit harder because it's very close. Even though it was a forward pass, it's very close to a lateral pass.
You're right.
And if officials just blows the call,
yeah, right.
It's going the other way for 6.
Well, Brig Walker heads up play. He picked the ball up off the bounce. Let's see. He throws it from the 18. The ball lands. Yep, good call. Definitely ball was downfield, but you see Brig, he picked the ball up and started going down the field.
Yeah, it's only a forward pass by about a yard and a half.
That's exactly right.
All right.
Good point.
Second and 10, second and goal rather, football at the 10-yard line. And we have a whistle here. Now Yale has no more timeouts.
This is Princeton versus Yale at its finest right here.
With 1:28 to play. Princeton trying to protect a 7-point lead. Miraz looks, comes to the near corner of the end zone. There was contact. No flag came out.
You know what? That could have been offensive pass interference, Mick.
DJ Shooter, the intended receiver. There was bumping and grinding going on both sides. No flag, no foul.
Good job by J.J. Artis squeezing him to the sideline, but I'm telling you right now, that was offensive pass interference. It sure looked like it. Here it is. On a little fade route. I mean, I like what he did because you definitely got to become a defender, but I think DJ Shooter got away with a little bit of a hold there.
Third and goal at the 10-yard line. Down by 7. Miraz looks, throws underneath, incomplete. Shooter, the intended receiver, once again on the coverage was J.J. Artis.
I'll tell you what, you will not see a finer secondary coverage unit in all 1AA. In my 2 years of doing this, I love the fact of how aggressive this secondary is in man-to-man coverage. Great with technique, they're aggressive, and they're also smart, and they got to be right now on 4th down.
1:19 to go, 4th and goal for Yale on the Princeton 10-yard line, trying to tie up the game right here. 2 wides to each side from the shotgun. Miraz looks, throws to the end zone, caught, Fire Eisen, touchdown! And Yale is a point away from tying up the ball game with 1:14 to play. Todd Fireeisen with a touchdown catch, coming back from the injury, his 7th touchdown of the season.
What a throw and a catch, and they got him on a pick play. Look at Fireeisen on the left. He rubbed off his man, and I don't know if they were a combo route. Sometimes you'll go combo, and that means if your man switches, if their man runs a crossing route, you switch. It looked like McCarron's thought that they were going to switch, and the outside DB Strickland did not.
And the extra point is good by Alan Kimball. Kimball gets the extra point to go through, and we are tied up 14-14 with 1:14 to play.
What a heck of a drive.
Live from Franklin Field in Philadelphia, it's NCAA football on CN8. Tonight, locals collide as the Quakers from the University of Pennsylvania take on the Villanova Wildcats. And in a rivalry, you need people to step up and make plays. The Wildcats have a big play performer in Brian Julia, who took control last week in the win over Northeastern. Hi, everyone. I'm Mick Moninghoff, joined once again by Lou Tilley.
Hi, Mick.
Glad you could join us for some college football on CN8. Lou, earlier today, many of the CN8 viewing audience saw Temple lose to Western Michigan. The Owls are 0-4, so really the winner of tonight's game can call themselves the #1 college football team in the city.
Villanova just 2 of 9 in 3rd down conversions. Here they're looking at 3rd and 10 at the 25-yard line. This really could be the ball game. Jankowski steps up, throws. What a catch by Outlaw! J.J. Outlaw takes on 2, takes on a little hit check from Vic Devonzo, still hangs on to the football. First down, Villanova.
I think that kid doesn't have a winner in his blood. Look at the hit he takes here. And hangs on. And how about Jankowski's throw, by the way?
Right on the money.
3rd down, just a sophomore. 2nd start ever.
You know, one time I asked JJ, would he like to play against his father, who was a big defensive back? He says,
on this field, by the way.
He says, I would have liked to have done that, but he was pretty tough.
He was pretty big, too. John Outlaw, the Eagle.
1st and 10, 13-yard line for Nova. Jankowski, had his tight end and bounced it incomplete. That would have been the third touchdown catch of the night for Sherry, who ran the post.
Football bounced. Did that hit Sherry?
No, I think it bounced before.
Or in the ground?
Here's Outlaw back in. 11th play of the drive. Not a bad drive. And in the red zone tonight, 10, 2 of 3, Villanova 2 of 2. So they're in the red zone once again. After the incomplete pass, 2nd and 10, 13-yard line. Sherry's caught 2 touchdown passes. Outlaws in the slot. They look his way. Makes the catch to the 5. Touchdown!
What an effort. What an effort by J.J. Outlaw. They owe that kid a lot, really, in the second half.
They'll take another look coming right at you.
The ball was behind him, Mick. And then look at the nose, they say, for the end zone. He knew right where he was going. He's a little bitty guy. He's 160 pounds, but he was not being kept out.
Senior, 5'9". They list him at 185.
2 huge third down conversions on the drive, right?
Right.
They've only been in the red zone 3 times. They've scored all 3 touchdowns for Villanova. Boy, what a change.
Yep, here we go. Adam James for the extra point. On the way, bad ankle and all. He's a gamer. He's back. It's good. Outlaw celebrating on the sideline after the touchdown. We got a ball game again.
Yep.
8:16 to go. Single coverage on Outlaw.
And both backs in for blocking. You notice that?
And look at the pass. Villanova throwing deep. Diesel touchdown! And Nova has the lead. We said they had to score in successive possessions, and they get it done. And Nova has the lead with 2:29 to play.
Speechless. That's why I love athletics.
Pat McDermott will be under center.
Where's Sandberg?
Ryan Krasinski is the lone setback.
Not on the field.
4.6 to go. 1st and goal at about the 3. McDermott back to throw. Sack. Brought down. Could do it. Time's going to run out. Brian Adams wins the ball game for Villanova on a defensive play. And Nova goes berserk. 28-24. Brian Adams, the linebacker, came out of nowhere. Sacks McDermott. He's down. Out. Game over.
Guys who will call tonight's action. It's Mick Moninghoff and Rob Kennedy. Guys?
All right, thanks very much, Murph. Rob, in game number 1, as Greg said, Seton Hall taking on Navy. We could see a lot of points. Both teams really like to push the issue.
And Mick, they get that pace differently. For Navy, it's on the offensive end. They try to rush the ball up the floor, not afraid to throw up threes in transition. For Seton Hall, it starts with their defense. Frantic pressure defense, creating turnovers to allow them to get out in transition.
Let's focus in on these two teams. First off, Navy has tinkered with a lineup with a one constant, the play of Greg Sprink, their leading scorer, possibly the top player in the Patriot League.
Well, he was the leading scorer in the league last year, and then the coaches snubbed him. Wasn't even on the first team, so he's playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. He's been a constant throughout the rebuilding process for Billy Lang here at Navy.
Now, for the Seton Hall Pirates, they need senior leadership. They get it from Brian Lang, led the team in double-doubles last year. Also had 32 in a prelim game against Robert Morris.
Well, they get a lot from him when you look at his numbers. Nearly 20 points per game, nearly 9 rebounds per game. He's an undersized forward, especially for a Big East player, but that doesn't matter because he plays with such great heart. He's a winner, and you're right, Mick. He gives him that senior leadership. This is a very talented young Seton Hall team. Eugene Harvey, last year, first team all-rookie in the Big East, but it's their senior leader that's got to be their go-to guy.
Yes, certainly the pace will quicken when we come back as Seton Hall takes on Navy. Starting lineup some more coming up from the Balestra. Don't go away. Davis gives up for Hazel for 3, long, no good, and the offside rebound is controlled by Keena.
A good ball movement to make the extra pass for the wide open 3.
Keena finds a man in the corner for a 3, and nailing it is Sprink.
So every time that Seton Hall's had an opportunity to get over the hump and get the lead, they've misfired. Navy, on the other hand, they've been able to answer, stretch the lead back out to 4.
56-52 as Sprink spotted up that time. You know, when a shooter can spot, it's going to be money.
Yeah, when he lets the game come to him and doesn't force, he makes shots.
There's a 3 outside, long distance, calling home Larry Davis.
So that's a good answer now. Once again, Navy able to keep Seton Hall at arm's length, but here come the Pirates once again.
56-55. Navy, the lead and the ball with 11:13 to play in regulation. On the dribble. Here's Chris Harris. Tries back to the corner again, continues to dribble, comes into the paint, pump fake, turn around, fade away, no good. Good rebound, up strong, and a basket. Count it for Brian Richards.
As we said, Richards banged up early on, but is giving him a good lift coming off that 15-point effort last time against Canisius. Important rebound, offensive rebound, and put back there.
Big time rebound and basket. Here's a jumper by Harvey. That's good.
That's where he's at his best, in the open floor and putting the ball on the floor to get into the paint.
58-57. And this is the pace we thought we'd see. Against pressure. Long lead pass ahead for Greg Sprink. Sprink behind the back dribble. Ill-advised into the paint. Navy throws it away. And we'll take an official timeout. 10:23 to play in the second half. Navy, a 58-57 lead over Seton Hall.
Coming out with a little three-quarter court pressure.
A little 1-2-1-1. Davis dribbles, throws a pass, almost threw it 2 rows high. Good catch. Davis back inside for Lang, up strong, off glass, and good. And Seton Hall finally has the lead, first time since 14:35 of the first half when they led 10-9. Right now they're up 59-58.
And there's where Navy's got to settle down and answer.
3 ball on the way, rims in and out, no good by Kana, and the big fella, John Garcia, the rebound.
He was on the bench, got himself a little rest, fresh legs, and just keeps tacking on to those rebounding numbers. Huge rebounding night for Garcia.
I heard coming in, they say he may be the best big man in their lineup. He's proven it here tonight. He has 18 boards. Inside layup, good for Garcia.
Now, good ball movement, and Garcia with that big body able to carve space. Nice execution on the offensive end.
It's a big 6 points from him tonight. Leo
can't cross over in front of Goss. He's going to strip it.
Here's to Lang for the jam.
And you got to like that as well. Paul Goss not only coming up with the steal, but being unselfish enough to drop it back to the trailer. And Brian Lang, and Billy Lang needs a timeout. His team right now trailing by 5.
Seton Hall with its largest lead, 63-58, doing it on the defensive end, turn it into transition points. The Pirates are on top. Stay with us.
We are set for the tip. Ferguson to go up against Steve Danley. You saw the series record in favor of the St. Joe Hawks. The tip controlled by Stakaitis, and St. Joseph's has the basketball to start out. Dwayne Lee brings it up. Runs in the backcourt with Abdul Jallo.
And St. Joe's has been a team that has been wildly inconsistent all season long. They've gotten off to a couple slow starts. Didn't happen last time out when they got off to a quick start against St. Louis.
Jallo on the right side, giving up for Dave Mallon, who's been in and out of the starting lineup as well this year for St. Joe's.
He started the last 4 games. He's played better, as has Ahmad Nibbins, with him now coming off the bench.
Shot clock at 5. It goes back to Ferguson for the 15-footer off the heel of the one no good, and a rebound controlled by the Quakers and David Whitehurst.
And they need Ferguson to step up and be aggressive on the offensive end.
Danley down low. One dribble and back to Mark Zoller for a 3. He's got it.
And here come the Streamers.
We haven't seen the Streamers since 1985. They did bring it back once in 93 just for a special celebration, but this is what the Big Five used to have all the time.
And what you had each time that the team scored their first basket, Streamers came out back in 85, the NCAA made it a technical foul to throw Streamers. Both teams got together, got everything squared away. Both teams receiving a warning, so there'll be nothing else thrown on the floor. But to celebrate 50 years, this building's about Streamers. It's about corners. When it's full, it's packed up to the corners. The Streamers, the Hawk, all part of the 50 years here in the Big Five. I'm keeping one of these Streamers.
Why not? It's a classic. Get on a soapbox. They got to bring those Streamers back. That's what makes this place special. You're right. It's the little things. So Phil Martelli calls out the defensive set on the inbounds. See if they go zone on the inbounds here. That looks like they're going to pick them up tight in the corner. Danley drives baseline, kicks it out front. Jabber almost walked into it.
Well, he's got to be aggressive right there. That's one of the few times he's had an open look. He passed it up.
Down low, forced pass here by Odinson, and it's a turnover. Jallo and ahead, gets it to Lee. Lee finds Stakaitis. couldn't get the shot away. They'll have to reset. Jumper out front. Good for three. You don't expect Ferguson to step up and drain it, but he did.
Well, he shoots it at 37%. Doesn't take a whole lot of attempts from beyond the line, but that's the aggressive play that Phil Martelli has been looking for, begging for at times from Robert Ferguson.
Jabber going up strong and scores on a baseline drive.
The last time he passed up the open three. Right now you don't see the confidence in his three ball, but he's got to be aggressive offensively as well.
St. Joe the lead and the ball up by one. 17:31 on the clock, second half, and an entry pass. They're going to call a foul. I think it's on Zoller. He pushed off to get to that ball.
I'm not so sure about that one. Looked like good solid post defense as he came around the post player inside. You're going to see Zoller as he comes reaching around. Boy, I tell you what, that's a tough call. Can't defend it any better than that in the low post.
And this ball tipped into press row by E.B. Jabber looking for the steal.
And neither team right now conceding anything defensively. It's even hard to get the basketball in on baseline out of bounds.
Stakaitis gets it into Dwayne Lee. And Lee thought about a three, gives up for Ferguson. He's feeling it. Good for three, another three.
Little pick and pop as Rob Ferguson, who was quiet in the first half, now stepping it up and making his presence felt on the offensive end.
14 points for Ferguson with 2 consecutive threes. 27-23 for St. Joe's. Turnaround, Jabber, one-hander goes home.
Oh, now all of a sudden you see the different ways that E.B. Jabber can score the basketball.
And the pace starting to quicken. 27-25, St. Joe the lead in the ball, but here's a steal for Jabber. Looking to tie it up with a layup. Stripped by Dwayne Lee. Good defense.